Well, hello, friends. Dear Burt, 29. Wow, who'd have thought this would go on so long? When I first started Dear Burt, I thought we'd have maybe 2 or 3 of them. Here we've been at it for more than 6 months. Well, maybe we'll get to a year. Maybe not. We'll see. Today I thought I would talk about the 7 principles that I mention so often. I know every now and again somebody will ask a question. We had one with last week's, I should say. Can you tell me what those 7 principles are and why are they so important? Well, they're important because they affect all things in life. Incidentally, the painting behind me is one of my museum series. I painted a series of them where you were supposed to feel that you were in a museum. And that one is simply called The Red Wall. There's a ship in there, kind of an abstract with waves, and, well, enjoy it anyway. Let me get out of the way, you can see it. The 7 principles. Well, first of all, the 7 principles are mentalism, correspondence, polarity, vibrations, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Now, what does that mean? The first one, that of mentalism, is the only one that would open itself to some sort of an interpretation, because mentalism states that the universe, the world, the cosmos, is a mental creation of God, of the Creator, of all that is, of the entity, the master of the universe. And let's just simply say God. A mental creation, what does that mean? Does that mean that we are mental creations? Well, to some degree, yes. But the mental creation of an infinite entity, such as God, is not the same as your mental creations. And yet, there are similarities. You can create someone right now. Create a man, let's say. A man who's 6 feet tall, dark complexioned, is well built, is wearing a tuxedo, and is walking down the street. And let's call him John Law. Now, John Law is real in your imagination. If you can visualize him, you've created him. Is he real? Is he not real? Oh, let's take something, a fictional character. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. Quite possibly the most worldwide recognized figure in literature. Sherlock Holmes. Most people even go to London to go to his address looking for him. There is no such address. It doesn't exist. Only in Arthur Conan Doyle's mind. He created him. But some think that he's a living entity. Most people, having seen a movie about Sherlock Holmes or having read a book about him, can actually visualize him, and he is real. Is he real? He's not real. He's a mental creation. So are we mental creations? What does that mean? Well, that's a subject unto itself, and I'm just going to go through the 7 principles right now. We'll perhaps take up mentalism and God and the variety of versions of the master of the universe, the creator, at another time. The second principle is correspondence, and I'm sure you've all heard the definition of that one. Correspondence defined is as above, so below. As below, so above. Now, what does that mean? Well, it has a lot of meaning. As it is on the physical plane, as an example, so it is on the mental plane. You want to learn more about the mental plane, study the physical and apply it to the mental. How about the spiritual plane, the most mysterious of all, the most unknown of all? Well, to learn a little bit about the spiritual plane, study the mental plane, because they are all a variation of the next principle, that of vibrations. The physical plane is the lowest form of vibration. The mental goes higher. As a matter of fact, the highest vibration of the physical plane would be probably gamma rays, X-rays, going above radio waves. Those are all in the physical plane. The highest form of the highest part, I should say, of the physical plane is the lowest of the mental plane. Now, how about the mental plane? Well, we go up in vibrations into the mental plane, and the highest vibrations of the mental plane, of course, cross over into the lowest of the spiritual plane. And now, what use is that information? Well, if you understand vibrations, you truly understand all things, especially healing. Because when a person is out of kilter, it's just simply that their vibrations are off. When you raise their vibrations to the proper level, they get healthy again. Then there's the principle of polarity. Polarity states that all things have an opposite. Opposites are the same, only differing by degree. What does that mean? Well, hot and cold is an example of the same. They only differ by degree. Ice and steam are the same, only different by the degree. You can probably understand best with ice and steam, which are just vibratory manifestations of water. Take a glass of water and boil it. And what do you get? You get steam. Now, when you boil it, you're really raising the vibrations of it. Those of you who have an electric stove know that. When you turn an electric stove on, you are raising the vibration to heat the coil. There is somewhere a wire coil in it that's getting heated. You heat the coil by simply causing it to vibrate more. Anytime you vibrate something, you heat it up. And you heat up water until the vibrations cause it to turn into steam. Now, when you lower the vibrations, how do you lower the vibrations? You take the water and put it into a freezer. That will lower the vibrations, and what happens? Water turns into ice. But ice, water, and steam are all the same thing, just a variation of the vibrations. All things are the same. Love and hate are the same. Different vibrations. They're on the same scale. The next great, I call all of these principles are great, is the principle of rhythm. Principle of rhythm says that all things are born, grow, peak, diminish, and die. Or you might say they're born and eventually they end. But when something ends, something else is born. When something dies, something is born. Always. As an example, when you go to sleep at night, your day has died. Your day has ended. It's over. It's ended. But your sleep cycle begins. Your sleep cycle begins until it ends. And when your sleep cycle ends, your day cycle begins. Cycles within cycles. And then there's cause and effect. All things have a cause. We don't recognize the cause sometimes. As an example of unrecognized cause, accident and coincidence are simply unrecognized cause that creates some sort of an effect. And the last of the great principles is the principle of gender. All things have a masculine and feminine property, or a positive and negative, or an outgoing and inflowing. And when you understand that, you can understand a little bit better psychic ability. To gather in information psychically, you must be in the receptive, in the feminine mood, in the inflowing mood. When you are being creative and you want to gather information, you want to gather information by putting yourself in the receptive mode. Okay, those are the 7 principles. Anybody, let me know if you're interested in any of these in particular, and perhaps we'll have an entire session on 1 or 2 of the principles. We could do 1 session on any of the principles. So let's see, which principle would you like me to talk about and kind of take apart in the next Dear Burt, which will be Dear Burt 30. So that's about it for now. I hope I didn't disappoint anyone with this. I did want to get that out. A few people have asked about it, and I thought this was a good time for it. So, do have a wonderful day, a good week, healthy and successful month, and a very satisfying 2010. Thank you very much. I'm Burt Goldman, and that's it for now. See you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.